All right. Andy Ruiz snapping off at Tyson Fury for wearing for pandering with Mexican flags, and talks about Anthony Joshua being forced to fight him. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon, and also hit that notification bell. And I want to thank you for everybody in the super chats, in the Cash App, in the Patreon for supporting the channel. You guys really are what makes this channel go round. Now, let's get into Andy Ruiz, man. You know who Andy Ruiz is. Andy Ruiz is that guy, the first Mexican heavyweight champion. Beat up Anthony Joshua, knocked him down 4 times, had him quit up against the ropes, and had enough nerve to say that he deserved to be paid for it and treated like a champion. So Eddie Hearn blusters, throws a bunch of threats around, winds up giving it Andy Ruiz what he wants, which is more money for taking that fight. And now we got a fight in the middle of the desert for some crazy reason. But before all that stuff that I mentioned, there's a guy named Anthony Joshua who said that he wanted to come to the United States to fight. And then he said, you know, his career isn't defined by whatever, you know, all this vacillating back and forth about what he thinks, what he wanted to do, what his purpose in life is, all that kind of stuff. And I thought to myself, man, and that number one, Anthony Joshua should not want this fight. It makes no sense for him to go right back in there with Andy Ruiz when he just got beat up like that. Maybe you should go back to the drawing board. Maybe you should get a couple tune-up fights in, get your head right. Do what Lennox Lewis did after he lost to Oliver McCall. Take your time, come back, make sure everything is working correctly. And then when you know for sure you're flying at 100%, then go get the guy that beat you. That seems like a reasonable thing. And I think Andy Ruiz believes that that's what Anthony Joshua thinks, because he's saying that he doesn't believe that Anthony Joshua really wants to fight him, and that Eddie Hearn is forcing him into the fight. And Andy Ruiz is going to beat him up again. And I think Andy Ruiz is probably right. Why would Anthony Joshua? First of all, Anthony Joshua has been talking about whether getting his motivation for the sport of boxing together, right? Like getting his motivation back, getting that desire to fight back. Now I'm paraphrasing him there, right? But here's the thing. What was his motivation for boxing? If his motivation with boxing was money and becoming wealthy and providing for his kids and helping his family members out, well, he's already really, really wealthy, according to Eddie Hearn and all the reports that came out. Maybe he already met that goal. And if that's the reason why he did it and he met that goal, then he might not ever have the desire. He might not ever have the desire to fight again and train like he needs to beat fighters that are more hungry. And I do believe that when he got in there with Andy Ruiz, that's exactly what happened. He got in there with somebody that was much more hungry, somebody that almost got put out of his house, somebody had gotten definitely done wrong by his promoter, Top Rank, who basically sat him on the sidelines. And I think he might have even had lawsuits to try to get out of that. Somebody can check me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I think he might have had some legal proceedings to try to get out of the contract with Top Rank. But after he lost a controversial decision to Joseph Parker, you know, that was it for Andy Ruiz over there. Now Andy Ruiz gets this call to fight for 3 of the belts. He takes advantage of it. Man, he got in there with a hungry fighter, and I suspect that he's still in there with a hungry fighter. And I don't buy any of this stuff that Andy Ruiz is over celebrating, or that Andy Ruiz is, not focused because he doesn't look like he's been working out and his body's, because he's looking chubby. I don't think that's the case. I think the dude's always been chubby, and I think he's always looked like that. But he's not going to unlearn the skill set that he used to beat Anthony Joshua. He didn't come in there with in the first fight with Anthony Joshua looking like Lou Ferrigno, right? As if looking like Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger, their bodies and bodybuilders, in case you missed a reference, is going to make you a better fighter. He's got fast hands. He's got very fast hands. He's punches and combinations. According to Joseph Parker, the dude can crack as well. So those and the fact that he had over 100 amateur fights, the fact that he's lost one controversial fight in his career, and he came back from that tells you that Andy Ruiz also has a lot of mental toughness. And I don't remember too many Mexican fighters, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you can pull one out on me. I don't remember too many Mexican fighters that won a belt and then lost their hunger and stopped fighting, right? Julio Cesar Chavez was a dog until the end, right? Oscar De La Hoya was a dog until the end. Oscar De La Hoya is a guy who had a ton of money, still went back down and wait to fight Manny Pacquiao. I don't like Manny. I don't like him outside the ring for anything, but you got to give Oscar De La Hoya credit for being, for in the ring, his willingness to fight almost anybody. Of course, he didn't fight Winky. He didn't fight Winky Wright. He didn't give Pernell Whitaker the rematch, and that was, a smart business decision from him. I think you see guys like Canelo Alvarez, who, when challenged by Gennady Golovkin in the second fight to go to him and fight Mexican style, walked right to him and beat him up. And I don't care how many of y'all think that dude won the fight, man. He didn't win that fight. Canelo Alvarez won that fight, and that's how it is, and that's how it's going to be. Now, speaking of Mexicans, and speaking of people, Gennady Golovkin, and people pandering to Mexican crowds shamelessly, Tyson Fury is seen in the lead up to this fight against Otto Wallin that nobody wants to see, waving around a Mexican flag. Man, when are you guys gonna stop, man? I mean, I really want to know, when are people gonna stop with that? Okay, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s older uncle, Roger Mayweather, walking into the ring with a sombrero on. Okay, Floyd Mayweather Jr. walking in with a sombrero on. Okay, in the lead up to the fight, I thought it was a way to taunt the crowd of people that were actually there on May 5th and September holidays for sure for Floyd Mayweather Jr. I thought it was just a way to taunt them, and they were usually doing it when they were fighting somebody who was Mexican. But why is Tyson Fury doing it with the fight against Otto Wallin? Is Otto Wallin Mexican? Let me know in the comment section. Is Otto Wallin Mexican? I don't think he is. I think he's some bum they dug up from Sweden. So why is Tyson Fury doing it? Well, I have an idea. So that he can draw up some controversy and somebody might be actually interested in watching this fight. Because nobody cares about Otto Wallin versus Tyson Fury. It is a crap fight. Of all of the quote unquote top heavyweights in the world that are fighting right now, Tyson Fury is fighting the crappiest fights of all of them. His fights are lower level fights than ones that are being taken by Dillian White. Lower level fights than what are being taken by Derek Chisora. Lower level fights than what's being taken by Joseph Parker, by Alexander Povetkin, by Huey Fury, by Pulev, by Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. All these guys are fighting better competition than the loudmouth, phony, not really lineal champion of the world, Tyson Fury. So he has to resort to tricks and smack talking and nonsense like that to get some degree of attention focused on his fight. How about this, Tyson Fury? How about you just fight somebody? How about you do like everybody else had to do and actually fight somebody that's a legitimate risk to you so that you can get a championship fight? Tyson Fury is, man, Deontay Wilder, bless that cat for sure. Deontay Wilder, please never bless anybody else again, because you see how these fools act. Okay. And now because he's got to generate some type of interest, he's waving a Mexican flag, hoping to get a big fan base of fans to get behind him. Or maybe he's trying to tick them off enough so that they might be interested in tuning into to ESPN Plus to watch him fight Adewale. Either way it goes, I don't think it's going to work. But it is what it is. Andy Ruiz, I think, is 100% correct about Anthony Joshua not wanting that fight. And also, he's very much right about being upset with Tyson Fury for pandering to Mexican fans by waving the Mexican flag around. How about you just fight somebody that's worth seeing you fight, and then people can get behind you for what you do in the ring. Right now, Tyson Fury is just he can fight without a doubt, but he's a bag of hot air, man, and that act is getting very, very old. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.